Why do you think that we have seen anxiety potentially and depression are the emotions du jour of the modern world? The conversations about it, talking all the time, these persistent feelings of hopelessness and listlessness that young girls have between the ages of 12 and 16, et cetera, et cetera. A lot of people talking about rising levels of anxiety, whether it's on their own or social anxiety. From your perspective, why is it the emotion of the 21st century?
Yeah, a bit speculatively, but I think that we live in a very different way than we used to. I live, for example, in a country very far from my kin, and I've moved a lot, as you may have as well. So you need to build new social support networks. Some of the people who matter most to you are very far away. Many of our jobs may be sedentary. We may not get a good diet because fast food places and supermarkets are filled with processed food. And so, in some ways, I think not being supported enough or surrounded enough by kin and close friends, changes in diet and exercise and things like that, as well as being exposed to people on social media and in regular media, like movies and so on. You're exposed to people who are like unrealistically attractive and unrealistically successful and unrealistically good at what they do. And in small group hunter gatherer living, there is a fair shot that you were like the best at something. You were the best weaver or hunter or speaker or healer or whatever.
There just
And
simply
now,
wasn't enough people for everybody to try their hand at weaving or hunting or speaking or whatever.
yeah, and if your whole world was 150 people, you have a fairly good shot at being the best or close to the best at something. But now you can watch Olympians and famous actors and famous whatevers, and you know for a fact you're not the best tennis player or basketball player or skater or whatever. And so I think with the broadened exposure to the best of the best and the sort of curated facade that people portray on social media, where you compare their facade with your real life, and the fact that many of us now have overly sedentary jobs and bad diets and are not surrounded by kin and friends as much as we used to be, I think these things can all lead to an uptick in sadness, depression, and anxiety. Um, but again, even in the best of times, we would still have anxiety and we would still have sadness and it'd still be serving a function. So, sadness, for example, seems to function to do a couple different things.